Okay, guys, I think we are live. So, uh, welcome to the Tech Cruiser channel. We have the monster here. we have we have the new thermistor. So we are going to be putting that in today. And we're going to show you how to do that. So this came from the fine folks over at E3D. Very nice group of people. We'll take it out of the packaging here. I'll give you a small ruler right there in the bag. Take it out. You can see it. Sorry, guys. A little small ruler. So what you need that for, focus. There you go. And more stickers. Who doesn't love stickers, right? We will also be answering any questions that you may have. I was recently at E3, not E3D, at EARTH, the East Coast Rep Festival, which was a fantastic event. Let me grab a beverage. Hold on. It was a fantastic event. I'm in the process of putting that video together now, so it'll be up hopefully in a couple of days. But here's your thermistor. Now I'm not going to, I'm sorry, hold on, let me change some stuff here. Sorry, we don't stream that often, so yeah, so here is your thermistor. Focus. It's not going to focus, but here's the main portion that goes into the hot end, and they also include the extension wire. Now we're not going to need that because I already did this once. I believe I mentioned it in the previous video that during printing I kind of muffed up a little bit. And I'll explain that in a minute. This is also a great opportunity to go over sorry for the plane, to go over another thing that I picked up at EARTH from the fine folks. Sorry, guys. Still trying to get all this together here. Okay. Everybody say hello to Mush. Mush will not be a part of this. I'm hoping that these zip ties are going to work. We'll have to give it a shot. The fine folks over at 3D Gloop so again, apologies. So we did, I think my chair's dying. Very noisy, I apologize. But we did stop over at the 3D Gloop booth and talk to them a little bit. 3D Gloop is a multi-purpose product. It is used in gluing 3D prints together. If you print it in multiple pieces, you need to secure it together. It's perfect for that, for securing those pieces together. It's also useful in laying down a layer on your print surface, on the print bed, to get better adhesion. It's also very runny from what I've been told, which is why I picked this up. No, it's the same 3D gloop, it's just a little bit thicker. So in smaller applications and thinner applications, the regular 3D gloop, I'm told, will just run everywhere. This is coming from the 3D gloop guys. So I picked that up kind of specifically with this project in mind, and I'll explain why once we get to that portion of it. But for those of you that have a Prusa i3 Mark III or the Mark III's, I'm not sure about the two, whether or not the fan shroud had changed, but the part cooling fan shroud is only secured by one bolt over here. If you're looking at the side of the printer, it's on the bottom right hand side of the hot end cooling fan. So it's only secured by that one portion. And over time, from what I've come to experience, the part cooling shroud starts to droop a little bit, which is why, if you could see this little dangle of gloopy PLA wonderful disaster mess is on there. Because I think what happened is the part cooling fan grabbed a portion of the print that I was working on and kind of force it up in and around the hot end, starting that disaster. So what I'm going to do is use that smaller 3D gloop as kind of like crazy glue or CA glue, and glue that other portion up into the little hole where it's at. This is harder to do while I'm trying to do it for you guys and not just doing it. Not that I mind. I enjoy sharing this kind of stuff with you guys. I really do. So the first thing that you have to do is take off the backing plate, which I've already done. I'm going to try and get you guys to see this as best as possible. So you want to take that portion off first and just kind of start cutting out zip ties and not losing screws, as I'm so very good at doing. So we're going to kind of, we're going to use the box lid for my Slice Engineering hot end there. Which, yes, I am keeping that on there. I do like it. I think I found a good combination between the E3D components and the Slice Engineering components. So that will be staying on there. So yeah, you just kind of want to start cutting out zip ties as you go along. The belt is going to have to come off, obviously. I'm also going to clean this out as best as I can. I hope while I'm in there. It's kind of a disaster right now. So let's take this out of here. Losing parts. They're kind of going everywhere. The cat is really excited about stealing my chair at every possible moment. Yeah, but it's a mess. It's just a disaster. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there is on the side over here, there's just crap everywhere. So, and there's crap in the part cooling fan, which is not good. Now, I pretty much had to take, the last time I did this, take most of this apart to change that out. Which I'm not looking forward to doing again. Yeah. See, it started to deform because of the heat. You could see that a little bit. It started to deform, and you could see that PLA that got jammed in there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get all this out, but we are gonna try. If you have any questions, and you're tuned in live, you're catching this right now, just type it into the chat below, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I don't have all or most of the answers, but I do have some. I'm starting to get the impression that this part cooling fan is, this part cooling shroud is toast. Because the PLA is in there pretty good. We may have to go without and print a new one. Because PLA sticks pretty well to PLA, as we can see. Kind of the reason why we're able to get 3D prints in the first place, because PLA can stick to PLA. Yeah, so the 3D glue guys, they have a product coming out. I think they said they're going to put it out on Kickstarter. That I honestly think is going to make the whole vapor smoothing thing kind of a thing of the past. It's kind of a clear coat, and it does two things. One, it's going to protect your print, and two, it will hide and get rid of any layer lines that you might have. Yeah, this thing is getting torn apart, guys. There's no way I'm going to be able to get. There's no way I'm going to be able to get all of that out of there. It's jammed in there really, really good. Super happy about that. Yeah, we're gonna have to print a new one of those. We'll have to do that after. After we get everything back together. It's a pretty easy addition. I don't have to take anything apart when I'm doing that. Sorry if I'm looking over here. I have my my laptop over here. Don't really do many streams, so it's kind of new for me. I like doing video stuff, but streaming is new, so I'm kind of monitoring over here. All right, so we are going to print a new shroud later. We're going to have to take most of this thing apart here. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, though. Let's cut more zip ties off. All right, I think we can flip this around now. Can you guys see all right? I don't even know if anybody's watching. I'm trying to get you a good view of everything. That'll work. All right, so let's start taking things apart here. The cat is getting into trouble. I'll be right back. The one thing that I'm going to try and not take apart is the so the thing I'm going to try and not take apart is the whole hot end. I really just need access to the back portion so that I can so that I have access to all of those wires. The reason that I don't want to take the whole hot end completely apart is it's a pain in the neck to get back together. So I'm really only going to take apart what I really need to. Though I think that we're going to wind up taking a large portion of this stuff out and completely rebuilding it again. So the 3D glue guys, they have that, it comes in a spray bottle, so you can apply it just like clear coat or spray paint, which is kind of cool. So it is going to hide the layer lines and protect the print, from scratches and damage and all that kind of stuff. The example part that they had there was were 3D printed gnomes, like garden gnomes, and you would swear that that it was a ceramic piece. That's how good it looked. It looked really good. So like I said, that they have that going on to onto Kickstarter coming up soon. Check their page and their socials for that that release, that product. It should be coming up soon. All right, tensioner for the extruder. I think we are going to have to take the pin to probe out, which I'm less than excited about. My cat is nuts. He's very excited, and I have no idea why. Or anxious, either one. I think I'm gonna print that shroud, the part cooling shroud, out of PET G, because it looks like due to the heat it did deform just a little bit. So I think I have some white PET G. I think I still have some green. I don't know. I have an open roll. I think we'll try and print that, like I said, out of PET G, so it doesn't deform as much. And I'm also going to use this 3D gloop here. There's a little indentation right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. The camera's kind of far away. I wonder if I can bring it closer. There you go. I'm not really in frame, but whatever. We can. So right here, there's a little indentation. Yeah, you can see that. That is for this little tab right here on the part cooling fan trap. That goes into so it kind of sits like this. That little tab goes into that little groove. So what I'm going to do is glue that in place so that it can't sag and droop pretty much at all. You can probably see how glooped up the mosquito hot end is there. Yeah, it was a colossal mess. So to give you an idea, it was a 5-hour print for a prop for my Halloween costume. I don't know a name for it. I just kind of put it together, kind of off the cuff. But the prop is RoboCop's sidearm, his service weapon. And I was printing the last piece. And the whole thing got muffed up. So it had 5 hours of PLA around here. You should have seen the amount of crap that I pulled out of there. It was nuts. I think at this point we can cut this wire. We're replacing that anyways. We are actually going to have to take this whole thing apart. Not happy about that. And since we have it apart, we might as well clean it, right? Not gonna be as easy as I thought, apparently. Because, like I said, PLA sticks to PLA. Yay. So while I was at IRF, I did get a chance to talk with the guys from Slice Engineering, and they did mention that they are working on a silicone sock to maybe not prevent this from happening in the future, but make it less painful. They had one while they were there, and I kind of asked them about it. You know, I definitely would have bought one. I explained what had happened and kind of the situation. They kind of cringed and made that face like, ugh. So they are working on something. Hopefully that comes out sooner than later. I don't know if in this particular case that would have helped. It maybe would have made it just a little less painful, but not by much. Sorry, this is not really a talking intensive process here. Still need more. I think this is probably the biggest mess I've ever had on the monster so far. proving to be a real pain in the ass. Also try not to strip the screw out, because then we're screwed. Wonderful. We may not get this done tonight. Phone keeps going off. I'm really trying not to strip the head out of that screw, because that happens, we are not going to be able to get that out. We probably will be up Schitt's Creek. So, trying to go as carefully as possible, because I would like to I would like to finish that that prop for the Halloween costume. I would really rather not have to repaint and use the crappy pirate gun. Hey, I got it. Nice. I don't think we're going to be able to get it completely cleaned out today. I may wind up printing another full set of the housing, the extruder housing. And kind of going from there. Oh, really? It looks like we're going to have to go from the other side and push it out. It does not want to cooperate. Not even a little. So if you find yourself in a situation like this, it's best to remember not to get frustrated, not to try and go too quickly. Otherwise you risk making a mistake or damaging something. I mean, you have to remember the housings, they're just plastic, guys. Really, nothing more. A lot of the connections are very fragile, very small and delicate. You don't want to put yourself into a position where you can't put it back together and print a fix for yourself. That'd be bad. Now, if you've stayed with the E3D parts, you could get some support from Prusa. But if you've done some kind of custom upgrades, it's not terrible. Worst case scenario is you wind up having to buy some new components. The world is not going to end. But you want to try to avoid having to do that. So just take your time, be as careful as possible. You know, go little by little. And you know, patience will overcome. You'll persevere. And you'll be able to get yourself up and running again. Like I said, it just takes a little bit of patience. But if you spent 10 hours putting this thing together, or 14 hours, or however long you took to put it together, this goes to the kit crowd, the guys that bought the kit and assembled it. Then you probably have the patience to just kind of chew through this and get it done the right way, and not have to replace a whole lot of components, or any. Damn it. this last little bit does not want to come out of the hole. There goes that. So the trick to not stripping out the head of these screws is to get it as clean as possible. Get as much of the material out as you can, so that way the Allen key has something to seat into. All right. That worked pretty well last time. Definitely not the fun I imagined. Not that any part of this is fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm good at taking things apart, putting them back together. But cleaning out the little ditzy parts, not a fan of. We may actually be able to just push this through. That's actually what we're going to try. We may not even have to take that other screw out. So we're going to give that a go. I don't need much. Just need a little bit to grab with the pliers here. Yeah, I know. There's a screwdriver for that. We are really having to take apart more of this than I ever thought we would. That is something that you definitely do not want to break, is the filament sensor. You don't want to break the filament sensor. Damn, that got all the way in there. I don't really know of any other way to get this out of here. apologize if that's too loud, guys. I am running out of options here. I'll lower this a little bit, guys. The volume. It is entirely around the inside of the thermistor port. That's why it's not going anywhere. We got it a little bit. We may generally be in trouble here, guys. I can only think of one other way to get it out. I'm not very excited about this option. Yeah. So the idea is we are going to try and heat it up with the soldering iron. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. So the idea is we're going to try and heat it up with the soldering iron in hopes that it'll melt and loosen up some of the plastic, and we can just kind of push it through. think we got it. Okay, guys, so we got it. We got it out. The last little piece. So now we can start to, I don't think that we're going to be cleaning all of this out today. Probably not happening. I can't believe it's 9 o'clock already. Oh my God. How long have we been going? Let me look. An hour. Okay, that's not bad. If you were tuned in, thank you for hanging out this long. You are a stellar individual. If you hung out for this whole thing watching me heat that up with the soldering iron. So, I thank you. If you were watching this at a later date, as it was recorded, you know, I think we may just use that wire after all. Hey, none of that's for you. The cat is very interested in the bag of crap I left on the floor there. Okay, so we have this one that goes to that. Okay, now we have to put it back together again. Don't want to. Really don't want to. Motherfuckers. You kidding me? Sorry about that, guys. The cat sees a random thing, doesn't know what it is. Hey, I better start chewing on this. No, that's not the way that works. Alright, so now that we have that changed, we can start reassembling the extruder and the hot end. If you're unsure about any of these steps, don't be afraid to refer to the manual, not like I'm doing. I did that once already. Did this whole thing once already, so I'm just gonna go for it. Maybe. Now, if this is your first time doing something like this, probably best to do it on the weekend, or Friday. You kind of want to give yourself time and space. You set the manual out, you set all the screws out, that way you can kind of follow along and make sure everything is right. Before you just start putting things back together. It's always a good idea. And the more that you become familiar with your printer, the the better you'll be able to do these kinds of things and make little changes in the process that you think are going to work better. Like that part cooling fan shroud. It doesn't say in the manual anything about securing that one connector down. However, I view that as a really good idea to go ahead and do. And that's just from experience. That's the second one that I've had. You know, obviously the original one I put on. That one I printed when I did the mosquito upgrade. And they both deformed. The Prusa original one obviously is obviously is made of the material that you know they support and approve and have tested, but it's still deformed. So I'm kind of hoping that the PET G is going to be able to withstand those kinds of temperatures. I don't know for sure. Maybe we'll write to put the maybe we'll send an email out to the gang over at Prusa and kind of just give them a heads up saying, hey guys, this might be a good idea to look into. Though, if they have it, I don't know why. If I can think about it, I'm sure they can. Guys, I think we are going to have to pick this up another night because I am completely wiped. Yeah. So for right now, we're going to leave all of that right here. I'm going to leave all these tools right here, and we'll wrap that up tomorrow. We got it in, got the new one in, so that's a huge plus. Let me move this closer while I clean up. So we got the new thermistor in, huge plus. We did get a little bit more cleaned out, but it has been a very, very long day for me. Yes, I do have a regular job, and that does not accept I was up late streaming on my YouTube channel as a valid excuse for being late or absent. So, for right now, like I said, I think we are going to hit pause on this right now, and we will pick it up again tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will join me. And we'll be able to get this back together. And we'll be able to start the the last part of the prop that I need for my Halloween costume. After running a first layer calibration, because we're definitely going to need to do that now. Yeah, I mean, answer any questions you may have about ERF or general technology or 3D printing questions in general. I'd be happy to answer any of those questions for you guys. But for now, that's all we got, guys. Keep printing and be good to one another. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you around.